around this same time of day. So if we were looking at price patterns, this would suggest that potentially US CAD is a buy where it is right now. We can see here that again our Great Britain US trade is it's still sitting okay. We're down about 9 pips, but overall it's sitting good. Now again, looking at our other trade, Great Britain Swiss franc, we can see that I have this for an entry point, 168.47. Again, last night couldn't get it. We've gone up as high as 170.82. Very strong move. So, but again, looking at what we'll do is we'll review one more here before we go into our question and answer period. British pound Swiss franc. In my opinion, I should probably start to be looking at taking some profit here. Now, the reason I'm saying this is my predicted medium and long-term differences are entering into overbought territory. Overbought, oversold suggests that either a corrective move is coming or a trend reversal potentially could be coming. Very important to realize that. You know, there's conventional overbought and oversold indicators, and they really do not carry the same weight as what the Vantage Point indicators do. Now, Vantage Point indicators tend to take the lag out of this, not just in the predicted moving averages, but also in the predicted differences, showing me the overbought and oversold signals. So looking at this, I'm going to go into the daily report quickly here before we go into questions so everybody can see this. We're still moving higher to 84, 108, and 163. This one right here at 163 has, I'm a little bit concerned with that because whenever we get into numbers in that area, we tend to start to see a reversal happening. Now to point this out, I have this set on a 2-week. I'm going to set this on a 1 month so we can go back and look at this a little closer. So looking at a 1 month, when we've hit this area right here, here's a good indication back on May the 5th, surprisingly enough, almost identical a month to the day. Pound franc was doing the same thing. So you can see that there's some price patterns here. Now we've got 146, 101, 127. The next day, see here, right here, 5/6/2010, all of a sudden these differences started pushing lower. Then we turn negative. So again, when they start hitting anywhere between 127 and 200, red flags start coming up. So we want to take this into consideration because again, if it's something, you know, we can always reset our buy positions on a pullback. Our main predicted, you know, our pivot support in this particular case is 166.47. We're starting to get a considerable gap building here. We've closed yesterday at 169.44. We've already hit almost 171 today. That's about a 400-point gap. So again, we have to start. It's very important. The only way you make money is when you take money off the table here. So it's important to do that. I can't stress that enough. You can, you know, the good thing about foreign exchange, the best trade ever tends to show up about every other day. So. You know, this is something, you know, it never hurts to take that money off the table, especially when you've been in a longer standing position. Now, again, going back to our positions here, we've got 421 pips booked in just over a 2 weeks time, 399 on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take some profit on this in real time because I think it's worth doing that just to demonstrate a point. So, you know, at the start of this presentation, you know, we've had about $6,000 in profits since our last webinar, which can be considered very, you know, very good trading. And a bigger point that I want to make here is that I didn't put in 50 trades here to make that $6,000. I also didn't over leverage myself to make that $6,000. Everything was kept in relationship to my account size. Over leveraging position in Forex, not usually, very seldomly a good idea, guys. So, you know, my leverage here is probably 3 to 1. Each one of my positions never exceeded my account size. I've got a 50K account. My leverage is at 50K. That's the way this type of thing should be played. So let's take a moment now, and what we'll do is we'll go into some question and answers to see if anybody again has any questions on these issues. Now, we've had a very good trading week over the last few weeks. We've got more potentially very good trading coming. The thing is just to be very patient with your trades. Don't get caught up on this short-term stuff, especially in foreign exchange, because the equity markets, they're moving all over the place. We've got you know, commodities under pressure, and at the end of the day, you know, we usually, what we'll have is we'll have an underlying trend that's there. So we'll just take a moment here and wait and see if we have any questions coming. Now again, today the equity market's under somewhat of pressure to start the day, but I believe the Dow futures were showing somewhat of a positive open. Again, with your currency trading, you want to keep a very close eye on the European close today to see what happens with the FTSE and all those European equities, because again, the main thing and the reason I'm using a product like Vantage Point is to point out the global correlation. So whatever happens in Europe today, you know, in a couple hours time from now when they go home, will likely influence what happens with the US market later this afternoon. Now again, here we're just waiting to see if we have some questions coming through. Again, we have a lot of talk right now on the euro. Where is the euro going? I've had a lot of questions about that. My opinion on the euro right now is that the euro, they're talking about parity. They're talking about the euro not making it. My opinion on that is simply unrealistic. The big banks have huge reserves in euros, and the euro is not going anywhere. I think we're approaching a reversal point here, a corrective reversal point on the euro. I think that's going to happen sooner rather than later. So again, I've been flooded with questions about this euro. So it's somewhat comical that you know, these analysts, some of the analysts feel that, you know, it's just the euro is just not going to make it, and the euro will be fine. Trust me on that one. I think we talked about this in our last webinar where they were saying the exact same thing about the US dollar, and the US dollar is actually retraced back to some of its highest levels in years. So despite the debt, despite all the problems and all of that. So again, we're just sitting here waiting to see if we have any questions on the presentation this morning. Okay, I think we're done. I want to thank everybody for coming out this morning. Again, I appreciate everybody coming out to watch the Forex. Any questions anybody has on this presentation, feel free to email me here at TraderPlanet.com. And again, if I want to point out to everybody, the next live pre-market open webinar will be on June the 16th at the same time. I look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. You'll find this webcast on Trader Planet later this afternoon, and we've made arrangements to email the link to everyone in this audience. If you are interested in seeking further information on Vantage Point Intermarket Analysis software, just select the Click Here link on this final slide. This will place a request with our friends at Market Technologies for free market forecasts and additional information on the trading software that Greg has featured in the presentation. This concludes today's session. Thank you for attending, and all of us here at Trader Planet wish you a profitable trading day.